Greetings to you wherever you are, excuse me, in this world. God wanted me to come out here and share another story with you. This story was when I was a little girl. I was still in elementary school. And I sucked my fingers. I would suck my two little fingers. And I had this little stinky blanket that I drag around like, I think it's Linus on the Peanuts. And I'd be sucking my fingers and smelling this old stinky blanket. And I would have a fit if my mom took that blanket and washed it. I just wanted to smell that stinky smell of the blanket when I was sucking my fingers. But I was at an age where I was growing my adult teeth, and I was beginning to push my teeth out because I was sucking my fingers. And they tried everything. They had this little poison stuff that they'd put on your fingers. Back in the day, they didn't care. They just experiment on you. And that didn't work. I just sucked that stuff off my fingers and kept on going. And the dentist, I would go to the dentist. They had me going periodically, like often for some reason, because I had cavities too. I came from the candy generation, so I was always at the dentist often. And he would, each time he would say, "Would you just quit?" He would say, but they would just try to. He came up with this retainer thing, and it had 3 prongs on the back, and it went behind my teeth, so that when I stuck my fingers, he made it especially for me. And when I stuck my finger in there, it was supposed to like prick my fingers because it had 3 prongs on it. It was a retainer, but I worked around that. I just sucked the tip of my fingers. I wouldn't stick my fingers all the way in my mouth. And so, finally, this one time, my parents took me to the dentist, and he had, like I said, I was always in the dentist's office getting something done. I mean, often. Because, like I said, I was from the candy generation. And for some reason back then they were really into oral health, They promoted it in schools and everywhere. So I was just there all regularly because I had cavities from eating candy, but they would get my teeth filled. But anyway, after months and months and months and years of just, trying to figure out, well, let's try this. Well, let's try that. This one last time, they had tried everything they knew. My mom took me into the dentist. I think his name was Dr. Kingfield. And before I sat in the chair, he looked at me. He picked me up, my little self, and he sat me in this big old dental chair. And I sat back. I had my arms on either side of the arms, the arms of the chair, the dental chair. And his nurse came in and bibbed me up and all of that. And then he was just looking at me, while she was doing all that. And before he put the tray with the instruments in front of me, he just bent over the chair and looked me straight in the face, like about 6 inches away from my face. It wasn't anything bad or anything. Just looked in my eyes and said, "Would you just stop sucking your fingers, please? Just stop." And I looked at him. And I saw how serious he was. I'm a little kid now. And I said, "Okay." And I never sucked my fingers again after that. It's amazing how just asking somebody directly just to stop, as opposed to coming up with ways to try to fix a solution instead of going at it directly, How just if we just go directly and say things directly instead of dealing with supposed solutions first. Okay, well, this is the solution, instead of just going straight to the most basic solution. And it worked. He just asked me, but I quit. And I said, okay. Just like that. After years of sucking my fingers, I just stopped. You know, I just, you know, we in life, we do a lot of things, you know. We always try to put the solution in front of the problem, you know. We think that if we come up with a solution and present it, that's going to fix the problem, instead of just going directly dealing with the problem in the most simplest ways, you know. Sometimes things don't have to be as overcomplicated as we make them. Sometimes we overcomplicate stuff. It's like the old people used to say, putting the cart in front of the horse. We see solutions and we put the solutions in front of the problem, instead of dealing with it straight and center. I hope you can get something out of that.